You see here, kid? You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before. You just gotta bend your knees, take a deep breath, and jump. And you might think, what if I fall? Well, what if you don't?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, it's David with LTD Media. I'm here with the Now You Know podcast, episode 10. On today's episode, I've got the owner, creator of Rad Dad Coffee here with me. His name's David Danielson. I'm going to let him talk about who he is, where he came from, why he's doing what he's doing. It's going to be an awesome episode. I can't talk this morning, and we're going to have a great time. So, how you doing, David?
Doing pretty good, man. Yourself?
Good.
Tired.
Man. My first name's David, too.
I know, David.
David? David? It's like doctor.
Oh, man.
David. But we're not doctors, though, huh? Maybe you're a doctor.
You know,
I don't know.
As much schooling as I did, you would think so, but no.
As much time you've spent in the classroom, you're like, oh. So, tell us about Rad Dad Coffee.
Yeah, so, I mean, Rad Dad Coffee is a family-owned coffee shop. Right now, I kind of work out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to eventually move into a place, but it all started probably, when I was in law enforcement back in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Doing midnight shifts. I think I was just drinking a lot of QT coffee.
How much would you drink in a shift, you think?
Dude, you don't need,
How many cups?
what are those, 24-ounce cups, the big ones?
Yeah,
Right?
I
Is that
think
what it
so,
is? Like,
yeah.
I'd go through like
16, 24.
I'd go through like 3 or 4.
3 24-ounce cups?
Yeah, dude, it's bad.
You should just filled up a thirst buster.
Dude, it was to the point, like, I'd go in, fill it up, drink it a little bit. But dude, that was like back then, like a lot of creamer. So fill it up, drink it, like halfway through.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to talk to you too or no?
Yeah.
No. So I would like drink it and then I would just fill it back up and then just go. I don't know. So I would drink a lot of coffee. And I think it was I can't remember the guy's name. A lieutenant came in and was like, hey, dude, he was just like, came in, put a cup of coffee down and started talking about the coffee. And the way he talked about it seemed really intriguing. Like, oh, man, that sounds like that would taste really delicious without any cream. Is that what you're telling me? So I started getting into I started checking out some like the local coffee shops.
Yeah.
And then it was actually Savaya was the first coffee shop I actually went into.
Okay.
Where the barista was pretty cool. It was all, like on Broadway. And she was like, hey, how can I help you? I'm like, I'm just coming for a cup of coffee. And she was just like, hey, look, take a look at our menu, this and that. So I'm looking at it, I'm seeing the different origins, and I don't know nothing about it. And I was like, hey, what's this blueberry coffee? What kind of, like, is that the oil base? And she's like, no, it's in the bean. So she gave it to me. I remember she poured it for me. She said, try it. Tell me what you think. Tastes like blueberry. Like, it tastes like blueberry, man. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is just straight coffee? Mm-hmm. So I was hooked right then and there about coffee, dude.
Yeah.
And then I've always liked coffee. I mean, in college, that's where you go to, hang out, do your work, hang out with friends, whatever. Even my dad growing up, he was all into coffee. So I'd drink black coffee once in a while with him. So I think around that point, I remember driving around the car, frustrated with all the calls. And I'm like, dude, it'd be really cool to just chill, have a place to chill and or you could just wipe down the countertops, and someone comes in I want to get a cup of coffee. Hey, where's the owner? Oh, that's the owner back there, and it'd be you. And you're like, just wipe down countertop. I don't know. It's a really Cheers or something. Just a really laid back chill.
Better than wearing a bulletproof vest,
right? Yeah, just or the guy in the back with the newspaper, and and someone comes in, and so anyways, I think around that time I was like, it'd be really cool to have a coffee shop. So I remember going to Seattle later on that year, mm-hmm. Got myself saw this little thing called a Beamer. It looks like a little microwave, and it's a little electric roaster. So I just started playing with that, just kind of just learning a little bit about roasting, and the roasting side really intrigued me because there's so many different things you can do to a bean, to make the flavor change. There's so many things about it. I mean, from how it's grown to process to just everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I got in. Roasting was the way I wanted to go. Fell in love with coffee during that time, law enforcement. But it's always been this will be something when I retire, or maybe I'll get it going. No, I'll wait till retirement. No, I'll get it going now. It was just always like that because, work was work, right?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be a cop too when I was little. So, but, yeah. So anyways, it progressed to this now where I actually have a roaster. I have It's a small roaster. It's a 1 pound roaster, but I'm roasting. Have my online store right now. So and I have bags now in certain coffee shops.
Which I am a subscriber to Rad Dad Coffee. I get it's
Rad
every
Dad?
month.
What the hell is
Rad
Rad
Dad.
Dad? No, I'm joking.
Sorry, did I say Rab? Who's Rab? Who the hell is Rab? Rad Dad Coffee.
No, and I appreciate that, man. So
it's every month, right? I feel like it's every month I get it.
it's every month, but you know it's funny, like, and it's like, should I open that up and do it twice a month, you know, or whatever? But once I open that door, and me being me,
it's hard
it's
to
like
step back.
it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it's overwhelming right now because I actually have 2 jobs. So
what else are you doing?
so I'm doing real estate. So
What a time.
yeah, it is. And so this is how this all happened. So I'll just skip forward. I know I'm missing a lot of stuff, but at that one point I decided I'm going to make the jump now. Like, it's going to be now or never, right?
Yeah.
Not really. I think it's just at that time I was like, you know what? It's never going to be a good time to try it, but this will make me happy. And I know if I do it and you love something, you're going to put all you got into it. So
Hold on. So you said it'd make you happy?
yeah, I mean, I looked at it. I mean, dude, I literally did like that T chart, you know, like pros, cons, and a lot of the pros had a revolved around family.
Yeah.
Like, it's more time with my kids, more time with my wife, be flexible for my family.
That's important.
And it was really cool. And you know, being a law enforcement, man, it was just a lot of that. You know, you don't, you know, it's based on the schedule. Maybe you're stuck at midnight, so when you wake up, you're just dead tired.
Yeah.
So a lot of the pros were family related. So I was like, you know what? And we're ready for it. You know, I saved and everything. But I was like, let's pull the trigger. So, but the goal was, my wife's like, okay, because I mean, it's always scary. She's like, well, I want to make sure you do something that just, I know there's money coming in, just in case the coffee thing doesn't take off. So I was like, all right, I'll do real estate. Well, real estate is doing really well for me too. So like, I didn't think that was gonna happen. So jumped out, did real estate. So that's how real estate got involved.
Bring your mic a little closer there, bud. Sorry.
My bad.
It tends to drip, so what I can do is, you know, we're in the middle of the episode, but I can help you out, dude.
Or should maybe I should just have like a microphone with me.
That's what the great thing is about these. Like, sometimes like equipment will just drift, and you're like, "Where are you going? Is it a ghost?"
Does it sound really like
Heck.
low? Okay.
No, you're good, but
Okay.
it's just
I gotcha.
I got you.
But
Yeah, so real estate, it's going really well. You
Yeah,
made-
so-
you did
and then-
really well for yourself.
so I was like, okay, cool, I'll do real estate. So real estate was also just something to make sure I have money coming in. But what happened was I realized I was doing it really, really, really well. It was just a little bit easier for me, I guess. I mean, starting out, there's real estate agents that are killing it, dude.
Yeah.
But like for me, I always thought, maybe one house here, you know, maybe 2 or whatever. But it was like every month I was getting something. So I looked at it as like, okay, well, this can help my coffee business out. This will actually help me with like getting that capital, so I can actually get a building, get a bigger shop. You know, we weren't really expecting. I wasn't expecting to be doing that well in real estate. It was just supposed to be just here and there. Well, it started becoming like really, you know, I was doing really, really well. So, yeah, I'm still in real estate. But
What a problem to have.
But
I joined in and I started kicking
But the
ass.
goal is like right now. So like right now, it's like that time to pull the trigger and get it going, because I did really well where I have enough now set where I can, okay, I can get a place, I can actually get a big roaster, I can actually build out a trailer.
Good for you, man.
And I have a trailer, but it's like that, and this is like the problem that I always have is like, but which way do I go? Like, so I was like, you know what, I'll start with roasting. So right now, getting the roasting house, getting a bigger roaster is probably number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, if I need to build out a trailer, it'd be honestly just to get my coffee out there so people could try it.
Yeah.
But focus on building that out. So am I off track? I feel like I'm off track.
No, you were talking about how your real estate really did well, and then you were able to get the funds and stuff needed and the financial security needed to make the next move appropriately without putting yourself in a hole or in a the way you're doing it is really smart, because sometimes they'll have this goal of getting something done that costs money, and they'll end up borrowing the money. So now you've got the stress of borrowing the money, and you've got the stress of needing to succeed. Like you're kind of at the will of when your payment and stuff start becoming due, because you're really not in control. The bank's in control at that point, right? Like whoever you got the money from, you're not in that position. So you get to really do this. When you said you're trying to figure out where to go, you literally get to figure out where to go and do what you want to do without that added stress.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now the cool thing is which direction I decide to go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a lot of hands in the pot, right? I definitely don't want to get a big. I mean,
Get it,
I'm
I
not.
get
I'm
it.
not a. I'm not opposed to getting a loan,
Mm-hmm.
but if I can avoid it as much as possible,
Well, why would?
or
Yeah.
I mean, unless I want. I mean, I really want to like deck out something.
Yeah.
But I'm okay just taking my time. That was the one thing too that I had to like get my head wrapped around was like, there's no rush. Like there's coffee's out there. There's a whole bunch of good coffee shops around here in Tucson.
Yeah.
I'm not like inventing the wheel. So I was like, okay, there's no rush to like get going. But I was like, at first I was like, I need to get this out there. I need to have people try this coffee. And then now I'm like, let's just take my time. And as I'm taking my time and really slowly growing it and like perfecting my my coffee craft, like roasting, I'm okay with that because like I'm still getting subscribers. I'm still getting clients. I'm still getting my word out there. So, but I feel like when I'm ready to then pull that trigger, I feel in control. I feel like I'm not gonna be like, oh man, are people gonna like enjoy this? Like, no, they're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be good. Like, I feel confident enough in my coffee. Like,
This goes back to something we talk about a lot on this show when entrepreneurs come in here is it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes repetitions. It's not overnight at all. Like nothing's going to happen overnight. And you're like, I remember the first bag of coffee I got from you was phenomenal. And even as you've been going over these last couple of years, every bag of coffee that's new, like I had the Honduras this morning, every single one of them is better than the last.
dude, that's awesome to hear.
And not only that, there's like a consistency to it. Like I've never gotten a bag from you where there was like the grounds weren't the way they were supposed to be, or it was burnt or anything. It was always like a consistent flavor, consistent just material base, I guess you would say, as far as the grounding. Like it's something that takes work. It doesn't happen overnight. You didn't just go and go, here's a bag, David. Like this is going to happen all the time, no matter what. Like I can just do this.
Dude, I remember starting out, and I had a couple good friends. I'm like, hey man, I just roasted some coffee, and it smelled delicious.
Yeah.
I'm like, try it. Tell me what you think. And dude, I remember they would drink it, and they didn't want to swallow it. It just tasted really.
You don't eat
like,
anything with it.
acidic. No. I'm saying like it was bad.
Oh, it was your bad one.
Bad.
Oh.
And I'm like, and I'm sitting there like, so what do you think? And they're like, David, this is like horrible. I'm like, are you sure it's horrible, or are you sure it's just like
Straight
you're just not
gasoline.
used to like the flavor? And they're like, there's no flavor. It's just bad. It's just so.
Those are good friends, though.
No, and I appreciate that. I would always, and I had another friend, good friend. Oh, this is awesome. I'm like, are you telling me the truth? And then of course I give it to another person. Like, dude, this is bad. Why would you give this to me? So I really, at the starting, when I started out, I actually enjoyed the critique, like the criticism, like just tell me tell me what's wrong. Because as like a roaster, I could tweak that. There's things I could do that can, I could play around with it, but I won't know. Cause sometimes I'm still developing my palate and whatever I like you might not like it. But, hearing like, oh, this tastes burnt, or, oh, this tastes very like vegetation. Just like I taste like a vegetable in there. I'm like, okay, cool. That means like, it's underdeveloped or whatever it is, right? It tells me these cues, so then I can go back to the graph and look at the bean,
Yeah.
and then tweak it. So the first bag you got was awesome, but the people that helped, like when I was starting out, man, those first couple of bags were like,
I didn't get your initial bags. I got.
Oh,
like,
dude,
you had a
I
bag.
know,
Your
I
bag
know.
had a brand on it and stuff.
oh, I
already,
know,
so.
but like starting out, like I have friends now. They're like, is it good? I'm like, dude, it's good now. Trust me. Like, oh my gosh, it's different. Because they remember those times where I was like, man, and it took me a while. Like roasting, it's just time behind the roaster, and it's like you just got to get experience of that. I mean, there's different things. Like I kind of do the old school route. I know there's a lot of roasters out there using computers, like like Artisan and Cropster or whatever, to keep track of the graphs. But I do the sight, sound, smell. I still track all these variables. But just me having a smaller roaster, I felt like I was more personal with it. But man, I remember just going behind. I'm like, okay, this coffee tastes really bad. Why? And I would roast that type of coffee like 5 different ways, and then and play with it with mess around with different variables. It took me a long time, dude. Like, I mean, I would say right now. It was like a couple years to feel comfortable where I can get a new bean. I can get a new bean right now, and I could probably dump it in my roaster, and I could probably push it out, and it'll taste really good. And that'll be like my first one to just start cupping. But I can already get to that point where I'm like, okay, based off, this is like a bean from Africa or South America or Central. I know exactly how to tweak it to start playing with that flavor.
Yeah.
And then of course, you do the cuppings, like drinking coffee and starting to see like if what you're trying to pull from it. And but yeah, it took me a long time to get there. Dang. So, but because I'm at that stage, that's where I'm like, I'm ready to get a big roaster. I'm ready to kind of like start doing this now.
You're progressing.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see. Question for you. So with COVID, when it happened, did you have a hard time getting beans from other countries?
No.
During that time, you were able to get them.
Actually, yeah, no, not at all.
Did the prices change or anything like that? Were you not affected?
Not really. And
That's good.
and because I'm a small operation, it didn't really. I mean, I don't know. I didn't make a big purchase order, but everything that I've done as far as like the importing side, my sales went up because everyone's at home, or they can't go to shop. So
I ran out of coffee.
And
I was stuck at home because I drank it all. I was drinking like 2-3 cups a day.
Dude, but here's the cool thing. I was just reading this on Roast Magazine. So during COVID, what that actually sparked, it actually kind of like triggered this movement of new roasters, like this new craft. So people are like, losing their jobs or they can't go out. Yeah. So people are looking for other ways to, start their own business or make money. So they're like, hey, we'll just roast coffee.
Yeah.
So a lot of little pop-ups came up, which is pretty cool. It's like more little flavors out there. So some might be good, some might be bad, but that's pretty cool. So COVID got more people involved into the roasting side.
Yeah.
I think. I read in the magazine, so it must be true. I don't know.
Must be true. What's your influences in getting involved with coffee? I know you said that you would work night shift and you drink, 120 ounces of coffee in a shift, but what else motivated you to go into this line of work?
Yeah, so the thing about coffee, so I guess this goes back to just the coffee house. So I always considered a coffee house like my second home. Like I'd go if I want to read a book, it's the weirdest thing. Like I'll just go to the coffee shop and read a book. So the atmosphere is what I really liked. So that is something I wanted. I mean, the coffee, but I just enjoyed talking to, I know it sounds weird, but like random people. Like I remember having this random conversation. Dude, I know how,
yeah, I've known you for years, and that's why you do well in real estate, I'm sure, is because you can just go up to somebody and talk to him like you've known him for 10 years.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I talked to he could be a serial killer. Dude, I remember talking to one guy, I kid you not, and everyone's looking at me like, why are you talking to this guy? This guy just came out of the woodwork, like he was like on the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail, just backpack sweaty. Dude, we had a conversation for an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's how you are.
About boots. About boots. About his boots. And
Killer
I'm like,
boots, man.
I'm like,
is that what you told him?
Oh, dude, boots, no, it's just like, hey, dude, I don't know how we got into boots, but I was like, you need to check out the Merrills. Oh, yeah, dude, when you get to that one trail, I don't know nothing about trail work, but we just started talking. But yeah, so the coffee atmospheres, I really enjoyed it.
What's your favorite coffee house locally here?
Locally?
Yeah. In Southern Arizona.
I think I might have two. So EXO was one of my favorites.
Okay. You took me there for, I think.
Did I?
Yeah, I think the first time I ever went there was with.
Like downtown?
Yeah, downtown. It's over by like 6th, right?
Yeah, it's right across from Miller's.
Yeah. Dude, that's the first time I ever went there was hanging out with you.
Yeah, Savaya, first time having it. Go to EXO. That's where I really kind of fell in love with roasting. And I don't remember the owner's name, but he'd be out there and he'd roast. But everything about that whole coffee shop, I enjoyed.
You know what else was really cool? You took me to this other one, Yellow
Brick?
Yellow Brick, is that what it was cool?
Dude,
that was,
like
it was just cool, like how it was set up in the back, like the roaster and everything that I could see, right? That's what that was? Or
yeah, he's got, and I haven't been there in a long time, like maybe a couple of years, and it's so far away.
Yeah, it is.
From like where we live.
I don't even know how we ended up there.
Yeah, why were we out there anyway? Were we at work? Did we go out there during work?
I don't know. I think so, maybe.
There's like no reason for us to go out there. It's so far away. Yeah, and that guy's name is David. He's actually pretty cool, dude. I met him one time.
Shocker.
I know, right? And his coffee's pretty delicious. I mean, don't get me wrong. If his coffee's house was a little bit closer,
yeah,
I probably would be drinking coffee from there too.
Sorry, I interrupted you. So you said EXO and then Savaya, and then
I like Presta. I like what they do with they put some pretty cool. Some of their coffee is really delicious.
Is that the one that St. Augustine Mercado?
There's that one, and there's one off of First and Grant, just north of.
Oh, I haven't been to that one, but I've been to the one in the Mercado over there.
And then there's like a third location. I'm all promoting them right now. There's a third location too, like off on 4th, which I've never been to, but their coffee's really good too. So like once in a while, like, so when I try my coffee, I'll actually go to some of these coffee houses and I'll try just different coffees that are black. And I'm like, oh man, that's a delicious coffee. Let me see if I can get the same type of, outcome in a cup,
Yeah.
Granted, the bean means, it depends on the bean, right? Like if you have an inferior product or whatever, you're not going to have a great, so you have to have a good bean. So some of their beans, I mean, I don't know where they get their beans from. I mean, but I mean, like I had this Colombia, this natural Colombia from like Presta. Oh my gosh, man. I was like, right afterwards, I'm like, man, I went back. I was trying to look for like where did they get their bean from? Like, look at the origin. Called my lady. I was like, hey, you need to get Colombia from this lot. Oh, we don't got nothing like that. I'm like, dang it. It tasted like plum.
No kidding.
It had this like, oh man, this like crazy flavor to it. It was really delicious. I drink it like water, man. It was like,
And they're roasting it, or are they buying it already roasted?
no, they roast it. They're roasters. There's a couple coffee shops around here that they'll like just resell it. They don't roast.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I get it.
Yeah.
There's more to it than just selling it.
I mean, you could sell it too. I mean,
Yeah. But is it yours if you're not roasting it? That's the question, David. What do you think about that? Is it your coffee if you're not roasting it, or is it
I don't know.
the
I
roaster's coffee?
guess you got to look at it like what kind of experience you want to bring. Like
Yeah.
maybe those that have the coffee shops, they love coffee, but the roasting side, they don't really want to get into. So I get it,
Yeah.
but they want the coffee house. They want the experience. They love, maybe it's like the barista. They really care about the craft of like making that cup for you.
Yeah. Well, coffee houses are cool because then they bring
Yeah.
other coffees there and
So
they're
I
helping.
think it's just two different paths.
Yeah.
So there's like not like, oh man, that's not your coffee though. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, like I can't make you a drink at all. Like I could pour you coffee, but like if you want like a certain latte,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get a crazy flour on it, or the ratio might be off a little bit because I'm just like a straight coffee guy.
Yeah.
So like,
So what if I like was like, hey David, I want a coffee, and could you roast me a coffee and so I could have my own coffee?
yeah, I
And
could do that.
Throw my brand on it, and you just
Like-
make
like-
my own blend.
Like private labeling kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I could
you'd
do
be able
that.
to do that. So if somebody was like, hey, I really like this guy's coffee. I
Yeah,
want to see
and-
if he can make me a blend that's
And that's
just
and that's
mine.
and that's the cool thing, and that's what I really want to get more into is like more of the experimenting side, like
Yeah.
kind of like combine different beans, see what you like if it's for an espresso, if you want more crema, or if you're looking for something that's maybe more I don't know, dark or citrusy or whatever in a cup. I like playing around with that. I haven't done a lot of it because I do
Yeah.
a lot of like single origin, which is just like one type of coffee, like Colombia or like Ethiopia, just one single origin. But that is something as I grow, when I get a bigger roaster and start moving that direction, that's something I really want to get into. And I really want to get into like the private labeling. 'Cause I have a lot of people who be like, hey, can you make me coffee? Or can I put my own brand on it? I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, no, make sure it says like, no, that's fine.
Well, yeah, that's the other component of the people that don't want to get into the roasting experience,
Yeah.
but they want to sell.
I will say that's the cool thing about roasting. I mean, you can have your own coffee house, you can wholesale, you can private label. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different things you could do with it too that make it pretty cool.
That is really cool. With doing what you're doing in the business world, stuff happens, right? Good things, bad things happen. Is there any particular failure that or event you went through where you were like, man, I might quit right now, but you didn't?
Bro, I'm always failing, dude. I'm like,
Same.
I'm failing up though. Like
Failing forward.
failing forward, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to figure it out as far as like how I want this to grow. But I'm always going forward. Like inventory was like new to me, coming out of law enforcement, like when taxes came around, things like that. I'm like, wait, what do they want to know about? How many cups I had last? Like, oh man, I didn't keep track of that. Like little things like, so, as I'm learning, like, and that was when I started doing farmer markets and doing some other little events. I would just buy this stuff and then like, it's fine, whatever. But all that matters. So learning that stuff, like, oh man, everything I touch and do that is for my business, like track that.
Yeah.
I know it sounds really like no duh, David, but at the time I'm like, I'll just remember it. It's that one event. Like,
Well, what I'm thinking is like,
are you saying like things where I like freaking stressed out? I'm like, I'm done. I'm going back to law enforcement, or I'm going back getting a job where.
no, I was kind of like piggybacking off of what you said about how like the inventory thing was a big deal. That's a huge deal, especially if you're not like, if you don't know. I mean, you're not going to know until you go against something. Someone says, "Hey, you're supposed to do this," but that's kind of that hard transition when you're like, it's a hobby, and then you move into that like legal entity part where you're like legit full on, and you're doing the year-end report and your taxes and stuff. That's where it's like, even for me, I remember I was stressed. I was like, man, I gotta like keep all my expenses and blah, like all my transactions and everything. I was like, I have to get an invoice system. Like,
Yeah, dude. Well, like I kept track of everything, but I didn't do it the right way. It was more like, it's on Amazon. There's a receipt there. I can always go back and Google it. And like tax guy's like, no, dude, you need to have another way of doing it. I'm like, I'll just go to my bank account's good. We'll pull up like, no, dude, you got to have. So it was like, that was like starting. That was like, when I was learning, like, oh, okay, cool. During that phase, I was like, man, this is like too much. Like maybe, is this a hobby or is this like a legitimate business now? So, I mean, there's that time when that came up. Like, I'm doing really well. I see where I'm going, but I'm not ready for this part yet because I'm always busy with this and this. So, I mean, that was a learning curve.
Yeah, it's hard. I feel I'm remembering the emotions of what you're talking about right now because I've gone through it, and I just like my heart's kind of like, yeah, like so, I was like I felt kind of overwhelmed at first, like, oh, I gotta do all this stuff, but once I actually like learned that there's ways to do it that's pretty easy, I was like, oh, okay, this will do. But I don't have inventory like coffee to deal with. You do. Like mine's digital service stuff. Like,
oh yeah. So now everything is like logged and it's easier now. I have like an easy system.
Hell yeah.
That's good. And it's small right now. It's not growing, but
not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, man.
It will.
Not yet. Like I tell people that come on this podcast, you're here for a reason. Like it's not just a fluke. Like we're like, oh hey, I know you. Do you wanna? I saw you at the supermarket. You seem like a cool guy. Want to be on my podcast. That's not, you're on here because we see people in the community that are doing things and we see like potential and stuff that's going to kind of explode. And we're like, I want to get that person here before that happens.
So
I can be like, I sat down with David before Rad Dad was all over the place.
That'd be pretty neat. Coming here, this is how I looked at the show. I was like, you know what? This would be a cool place to kind of like a milestone. Like, okay, I'm on record. I'm talking about what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Where will I be in 2 years from now? Then I'll come back.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Like,
I got this shop. So,
yep.
Because to even say that I jumped away from like my career, like law enforcement, that to me was like a big like, all right, I could do this, and that was a huge decision. Like, I mean, I thought I was gonna stay there forever.
Would you consider that a triumph?
Yeah, dude. It was
because that's my next thing after the failure. Was
are
like,
you kidding me? Like, I sat on my resume for like 2 months, and it wasn't like. And don't get me wrong, like I still miss it, and that's just because when I joined it because I really wanted it when I was a little kid. I've always wanted to be an officer, but as you grow, things change, and you find other passions and things like that. I mean, dude, if I can be a coffee roaster, coffee shop, real estate agent at the same, like, I mean. Maybe I would have done it, but I have
You're
a family.
You're going to have a family?
So, yeah.
You'll be by yourself.
So my wife's like, no. But, yeah, that was a huge, like, over the hill kind of like, okay, I met that mark. Because, I mean, that was like a whole family knew me. Like, okay, and I didn't think of myself as a slug. I really love the profession. And what made it more awkward, too, is, like, where I was at. I was, like, right across the hall from, like, my bosses. So it was just more awkward because I had to, like, when I turned that resume in, it was like, hey, how's it going? I'm still here for another month. Like it was very, very awkward. So, but yeah, that right when I did that, and I don't want you to take it the wrong way. It's not like, oh man, you must have had a horrible time. I enjoyed my job. I loved everything about it. I missed the guys, missed the work. But when I turned that in, it was like, like, dude, okay, I can now start paving my own way. Does that make sense? Like
yeah.
Like it's real now. Like if I'm gonna make any type of money or security for my family, like it's gonna be like of my own doing. Does that make sense in a way? Or
yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. I'm thinking about what you're saying when you left, and you liked what you did, you loved it. Did it feel? How like law enforcement officers, there's like a certain stress level that you kind of just you operate at constantly. Like you're, I think there's like a color guide,
yeah,
right? Like yellow, orange, and whatever. You're always at this certain thing, even when you're out and about. You're trying to turn it off. When you did that, were you able to turn it off right away, or did it take some time?
Oh, don't get me wrong. There's times where I'll be with the kids in the back, and I'm like, driving. I'd be like, that car's up to no good right there. Let's just take a look at it. Why? Like, you're not a cop. What are you gonna do? Like, hey, yeah, this is like. So there's
Rad Dad
times where I'll be driving like, stupid. What are you doing? Like stop. Like 2 miles into it, like turn around. Like you're just that creeper. So I think like you're always gonna have your head on a swivel. You know, you're always gonna have your head on a swivel. But it's getting better now.
Yeah.
But like when I jumped out, oh yeah, all the time. Like I always felt it. But that stress level though, like the amped up, no. It was just more of like, oh, something's not right there.
Yeah.
Let me not do something about it. Let me call 911.
Did you feel a big stress difference when you left?
Yeah.
Like as soon as you walked out the door, you're like, whew.
Yeah. It was like scariness, you know, like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I'm doing this. But it was like, yeah, it felt good. Like,
yeah, you're
this
going-
big old weight dropped off.
You're jumping into the risk now.
I know, you know, and it's weird. And, I don't know, maybe I just think different. Like in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to fail because worst case scenario, I can always get a job like McDonald's or something like that. Like I always thought there's never like, oh my gosh, you're going to let everything go. Like I always thought like, no, there's always something there to fall on, you know? Which is bad 'cause my wife's like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that you're jumping
You're just
out.
dropping down to McDonald's.
Not saying anything about McDonald's or anything like that. But what I'm trying to say is there's always jobs out there.
Yeah.
So I never had that fear of like, oh man, it was just scary just letting go of something that I really loved and I did for a long time. But I never had that fear of like, dude, I'm going to be like coming back again. Like, you know, like begging for a job. Like,
Would you go back?
I would, but not for the reasons like you think. Like, believe it or not, actually, like, hey, dude, I reached out to him. I was like, hey, I'd be happy to do like the reserve program, like work for free for like a day, like, you know, like, or like once every month or twice.
Mm-hmm.
So just because I miss it, but I wouldn't go back. Like what I'm doing right now, and like I'm doing really, really well, and I love the time that I'm having with my family. Like I wouldn't be able to do this, or maybe I don't know, depending on my work schedule. But like I'm doing this, you know, and then after this, you know, I'll pick up my kid, you know, take him to the park. I mean, I'm literally in control of my own like, you know, schedule, especially with the real estate and the coffee. And I'm still working. Like right now, talking to you, I got like 3 text messages
Getting some orders
of orders, you know.
That's
so
incredible.
Like I'm like, okay, I'm doing this, but it's my job's still carrying on. I don't know. I wouldn't go back.
I don't blame you.
There you go. I wouldn't go back.
Oh, hey.
And then now the way things are going,
What do you mean?
Maybe just, you know, with just, you know,
Climate?
everything. Yeah, just everything. Just kind of like right now, just like, you know, it's probably best for the family just to kind of
It's
hang
a
out with
it's
them and do the
confusing
thing.
time right now.
It is, you know. It's
It's
unfortunate, but it's just the way, I guess.
Yeah, this too shall pass.
It will. Everything goes up and downs, right?
Yep, sun comes up the next day. That's what I tell people. Every day the sun's gonna come up,
Yeah,
guaranteed.
and that's the thing. You can only control what, you know, what's in front of you, and you you know.
Yeah.
So I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah, you find happiness within yourself. No one else is gonna make you happy. A post on social media isn't gonna make you truly happy. You know, it's all within yourself.
For sure,
So-
dude. No, for sure.
What advice do you have to listeners pursuing your type of venture?
What kind of advice do I
With the
got?
experience you have now, like now you're sitting here getting orders while we're chatting it up.
Yeah,
now.
and by no means I'm not even there yet. So, which is kind of cool for me when I think about it. I'm like, okay, I'm not even there.
Well, you're the
yet.
type of person when
But-
you get to there, and I'm throwing up my fingers like quotation marks there, right? When you get to there, there's gonna be another there. You're gonna get to there, and then you're like, well, I'm not there. That's the next level, right? You'll be like, oh, I'm here, but I'm not there. Like there'll always be another there.
Probably. I'm probably always got to do something.
Yeah.
I guess my advice would be, know what you want to do, and you know, and pretty much. Let me think about this really quick, because I think different. I'm that type of guy that's like, you know, it's never going to be that bad. Like I said, you know, worst case scenario, I just go apply at McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or something like that.
Why are you? Do you love fast food that much? Is that where you want to go next?
Well, you want to know why? You want to know why I'm saying McDonald's, Chick-fil-A all the time?
If I worked at Chick-fil-A, bro, I would be the fattest person like in
You think
the zip
so?
code. Oh yeah, I would eat all of the nuggets. Like I'd probably get fired for eating the nuggets. I'd steal them and go in the freezer, lock myself in there, and eat the nuggets. I'm just. That's how much I love Chick-fil-A. I wouldn't really do that. I'm a nice person, but I would have issues. I'd probably have to go to like Nuggets Anonymous or something.
Nuggets
Like NA.
Anonymous. I don't know why, dude. I think I've been taking my kids there a lot lately, just because I've been
delicious,
getting
bro.
lazy to like cook. I'm like, you want to just do another Chick-fil-A
It's best
run?
go-to.
Or like
There's
my
nothing
kid, McDonald's, dude, it's so bad. My wife and my wife, like, it's so bad.
Gross, dude.
My wife's like, did you cook lunch for the kids? I'm like, they got lunch.
Yeah,
That's what I
what
tell
they
them. She
get?
goes, what do you mean they got lunch? They ate. They're fed. You went to McDonald's, didn't you? I'm like, I did go to McDonald's. Like, I buckled. Like, but I got apple slices instead of the French fries, so we're good. No, dude. My thing would be, dude, just know what when you do jump or make that jump, or if you do your passion, just look at the pros of it. Like, to me, I knew that it was just not just making money. There was the family side to it and the flexibility to spend time with them. That was a really big pull for me. Just thinking about that and not getting overwhelmed over like the materials. Like, oh, I need to make money. I need to do this. Like, having time with them is like everything. So, just look at the whole big picture when you're gonna make that jump, I guess. And like, if you think you're ready for it, you're gonna be happy doing it. Do it. It's never gonna be easy, man, to pull that Band-Aid off. Like my dad was like, "Are you sure you're gonna do this? You're like, that's not normal, David. You're supposed to stay in your career till you retire." And
Well,
then
that's what they teach us in school.
You do it afterwards. I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right, Dad. And I remember one thing, man, and I love my dad to death, and I want people to get the wrong idea, like, oh, he's not a supportive dad. When I told him, like, well, I got real estate, Dad. I'm gonna do that on site. He goes, David. He goes, everyone does real estate. He goes, you're gonna only sell like one house a year. It's like gonna be hard. I'm like, well, there's a difference there, Dad. And he's like, what? I'm like, I'm not everyone. So only you know your worth, right? And
that's real.
Don't get me wrong, dude. Like, I really believe if I went full force in real estate, I probably could be at a different level right now. Like, I know for a fact I can. I know with coffee, if I just went full force right now, like had that. But when I mean full force is like sacrifice a little bit of my time with my family. Like, I'd be at a different level. But where I'm at right now, family's a big part of my journey. Like, I want them to be with me on this adventure. So I'm okay taking the slow growth.
Yeah.
But a lot of that was, my decision. But anyways, that's what I'd say. It's just look at everything. I mean, and just pull the trigger, I guess. That's a horrible answer. I don't know. Just do it.
Well, no, you're
do it.
You're basically saying analyze really take into consideration realistically what you're gonna face.
Yeah, I mean, you're never gonna be ready. Even when you have the money, you're gonna be like, okay, well, do I have health insurance? I mean, there's always gonna be those risks. But I'm a big believer. If you take that jump, man, and you give it all you got and you push at it, there's no reason why you should fail. All right. The only reason you're gonna fail is because you get in your head and you say like, I can't do this anymore, right?
Yeah.
But you hear these stories all the time of these people that took the jump and they just launched to this whole different level, right? I mean, that's the cool thing about being an entrepreneur. There's no like cap, man. It's like it's however you want to go. So yeah, I'm going slow right now because I can go slow, but I know that there's no cap. And dude, to be honest with you, do a couple of like social media things. I'm horrible at social media, but I notice if I do those social media tweets, it just takes me to the next level. But it's too much that I can't handle right now because I need to grow.
That's why our businesses that's why we do what we do, man, because we've seen firsthand what it does to businesses.
Yeah, I mean, so like
nuts.
a company like yours is awesome. I mean, you're like, Dave, that's why you should call me.
I'm not gonna try to sell you, bro. We'll talk later on about that.
But yeah, it's you're never gonna be ready for it, man. But
yeah, and you think about the entrepreneurs that started like 2019. There was no COVID-19 on anybody's business plans.
No, there wasn't. And the funny thing is, I remember when I jumped, because I was like, I just jumped out, and then like maybe a couple of months, then COVID hit.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, like business boomed for me.
Yeah.
Like it was like just went really, really well.
There's always opportunity in tragedy, man.
There is. I mean, I know it's unfortunate
to say, but
when you say it that way, yeah. But I'm like, okay.
Oh, this is dark.
Like it's dark now. I'm like
crying right now. Just kidding.
like a profiteering. But
like,
no, I mean,
dark hair dye.
Yeah,
I don't have
dude.
hair though.
I don't know. Just do it. It's never gonna be a good time, but you push at it. There's no reason why you should fail.
Yeah.
Like I know you doing this, dude. This is probably next year is gonna go somewhere different.
Yeah.
So
putting my heart and soul into it, man. Just like you are with your thing, and like I said, that's why you're here. I like having conversations with people that think a lot like I do. Because it also like I don't know if it happens the same with you, but like when you hang out with people or talk with people that are doing the same kind of thing, like really trying to get to that next level, it just amps me up even more.
Oh man, yeah. So I read a lot. I read a lot of like self-help books, not just because you need self-help. Like I read a lot of like profiles on business, individuals. I love hearing all that stuff. I love hearing success stories, even though it's like repetitive.
Yeah,
it's almost like it's like working out for my brain. The more I hear it, it's it's like reconditioning my brain. So I love reading those things. I love hanging out with people like that. They're like really successful.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I remember like I used to be into rollerblading back in the day, like aggressive rollerblading, not like figure skating kind of whatever.
Not in the circle.
Yeah,
country.
none of that. Like you're like that weird guy that goes around. Like I'd do the flips and things like that. And I remember starting out, I was like, oh man, I can't wait to grind and do all these things. And then I became good friends with a bunch of guys from my city back in Yuma, and they were just like at a whole different level. Like it would push me to the point where I got good enough where I got like on a team, got sponsored. But I don't think I'd be there if I didn't have like those people like just not even pushing me. It was just like I wanted to be like that. Like I need to be at that level. So I would push myself. So I think hanging out with like individuals that are like already there, it's not like you're like, hey, what advice do you give me? You're almost like you kind of want to like, what do you call it? Like copy it or just kind of like I need to get to that level. I can get to that level. If that
competition breeds.
Success, and maybe not really competition. You're just kind of like I could do it too. Like I'm seeing what he's doing. Oh, I just gotta do. Like you just start kind of
Why
copying
can't I
that.
do that? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think a lot of like that. It's kind of like the other way around too. I remember being in law enforcement, FTO, and I always tell like rookies like, hey, if you hang out with people that are negative all the time in crab, you're gonna be in that mindset.
That is the
It's
truth.
like I remember telling like supervisors, like, hey, you know how you break that up? It's like crabs in a pot. Like they start fighting, but you need to just take one out. One just kind of chills in the pot and just remove them. Like, but it's like the same thing with negative. Like negativity breeds negativity. Positive. So like, why do that to yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Why have that unnecessary stress?
Why have that in your group of friends or whatever you call it? Like,
and that's
I'm the same way with that, man.
And granted, I have some friends that are like that, and sometimes I think everyone's human. You kind of go down that road too, but then you catch yourself like, there's no reason to think like that. Let's just get
it's
out of
all
this.
good.
Yeah.
So all good. How do people connect with you? How do they get a hold of Rad Dad Coffee? How do they get it at their house in a cup, ready to go?
Yeah, so raddadcoffee.com, online, social media, Instagram, Rad Dad Coffee.
Okay.
Even on Facebook. They all connect to like my webpage.
Okay.
So right now, that's the only way. Yeah, that's the only way.
It's the only way?
Or if I start doing farmer markets and
good,
getting out there,
It's a pretty good way.
But you know what? It's like, I'm okay with that right now. Like I'm telling you, like once I start doing any type of picture or whatever, like more orders come in. And that's good. It's a good thing to have. Trust me, I want that. But then when you're like a small roaster, you're like, oh man, I got to really.
Yeah.
Because there's one time where I'm like, I'm just going to start posting a lot. And I just ran out of beans. Like I just roasted everything. I'm like, oh man, I did not plan for that. It was like a lot of orders.
Uh-oh.
So, but yeah, for right now, raddadcoffee.com.
Cool.
And then give it, the cool thing is, like I said, I'm looking at trying to get a place, bigger roaster, but even my logo is going to kind of start changing a little bit. Like Rad Dad will always be here because it's just some, it's my kids, my wife making fun of me. So that guy will always be there.
Yeah.
But the logos and the branding will kind of change a little bit just to make it more fun for people to, kind of participate if they don't like coffee. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, you want to have like stuff that's catches attention on merchandise and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to
exactly.
jump into all kinds of stuff when you move up. And do you still offer the subscription service, right? Where you get coffee every.
I do.
Okay, yeah, and that's on your website too. You can subscribe to get some bags every month.
Yep, it's 1 bag or 2 bags, whatever you want to do. So, and then as I grow, hopefully that changes as well, where I start offering more options.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good coffee, man.
Like I think I had 2 clients like, hey, do you do like weekly? I'm like, no, I'm not going to do
those
weekly.
Those are real coffee drinkers. Dang, weekly.
I like it. Just there's not enough of me. I try to get my son to roast, and that was just a horrible idea. I would love it in time because I've always would love my family be like my kids to really be put their hands in it and like really be part of it. Like my youngest one, like my 4-year-old, he's like always with me when I roast and do coffee. He loves like the smells and he'll even drink coffee. which is bad. I mean, but he'll like if I put my cup there and I walk away and I come back, it's like gone, like dark black coffee.
Do you confront him about it? Like, hey, man.
I'm like, buddy, you can't be doing it. And he'll tell you like, ooh, that was good.
That was good, Dad.
That's good. I like coffee. He like brags about it.
Hey, if a 4-year-old likes it, you're doing something right. Because little kids are picky,
I don't know if
man.
he's grown, though. He's like 4. Like, he's probably not going to. Wasn't that coffee stunt your growth? So it's like, I don't know. But
that's what they say.
Then my oldest, like, I tried to get him involved, and he's like, Dad, I got this roasting. I showed him everything. Made it, like, very, very simple because I have, like, all modeled out. From, like, hey, you just, once you get to this temp, do that. Here. I was like, I'm going to walk away now, okay? Did a couple with him. He's like, I got it, Dad. Just go ahead, do your thing really quick. I'm like, okay. 5 minutes later, I come back. I'm like, how's it going? He goes, going good, Dad. I'm like, I'm seeing smoke. Why am I seeing smoke?
Something's on fire.
Dude, it was like the darkest bean ever. It was like Venetian, like French, like it was just dark, oily. I'm like, so when I dumped it, I'm like, buddy, like, because it's dangerous. And I did it, like, I walked away for just like a little bit because I was like, playing with a roaster, it gets up to like, 500 degrees. It's like, you want to watch it. You don't want to start fires. Wow. But I'm like, buddy, at what point were you going to dump this? He goes, wait a minute, Dad, there's no like buzzer? I'm like, no, dude. Like, I just told you that. You didn't see the last 2. He goes, I'm not going to lie, Dad. I heard you, but I was kind of thinking about whatever game he was thinking about at the time. I'm like, so you weren't paying attention? No. Because I thought I could just figure it out.
Wing it, man.
I'm
I
like,
got this.
yeah, you're fired. Like, so he's not ready yet. So
You'll get in time, man.
In time, yeah, exactly, dude.
It'll be cool. What's a common myth about roasting you'd like to debunk?
Common myth. I don't know of any common myths. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Did you hear anything online about common myths for roasters?
I don't know. Maybe I was hoping you did. Maybe if like somebody's like, "Oh yeah, it's super easy. You can do your eyes closed."
Oh, I mean, it definitely is not easy.
Do people say it is? They make it seem like it is?
I don't think so. I don't know if there's like talk out there of like, dude, roasting is easy.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people like, I want to get into it.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, look, when you roast, and if you don't know that much about roasting, you stick a bean in, just roast it up, dump it. It might look good on the outside because it's like, oh man, it smells delicious. It looks the right color. But there's a lot more to it. Make sure you have like inner bean development. Like make sure the inside is cooked just as well as the outside.
Okay.
So that could be kind of tricky. So I mean, it might look easy because you can make coffee on a popcorn maker. You could throw it on a pan. So I guess it seems easy, but if you want really, and I mean it is easy, but if you really want good coffee, there's a little more skill to it.
Yeah.
As far as like developing the bean and everything like that.
Have you ever eaten a bean after you roasted it?
I do it all the time.
Is it good?
Yeah. Like I do it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
Dang.
Like I just pop them in my mouth.
I saw somebody do that one time, and I was like, "What the hell?"
And then the weird thing is, so when you roast,
I guess it's okay to do. I didn't know that.
And then when you roast, like I always go through my roast to make sure there's like no Quakers, like just like certain beans that you want to take out because they'll just taint the cup.
Yeah.
Like, and these beans, man, they'll be a different color. Like it'll be like a dark color, it'll be a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Or like maybe like really light. Mm-hmm. So you want to take that out. It'll just make your cup really bad. But they taste like corn nuts. Like
I love corn.
So
nuts.
I look forward to like looking for these things. I'm like, oh, there's one right there, and I'll just start munching these things down, dude. But you want to get rid of that in coffee. You don't want that in coffee.
I get that. All right, so I have to grab something real quick, so just hang out
Go
here.
for
Give
it.
me a sec. I'll be right back. Does it sound funny in the background of me talking?
So we're live still?
Yeah. Still recording.
I was thinking, imagine, like, how you said it tastes like corn nuts. Imagine a candy. Well, it wouldn't be a candy,
Dude.
but I mean, like a snack. Yeah, a snack.
Is there like I'm back now. Is there like a coffee bean bag of snacks? Like
No.
those exist?
So I had my cousin's like, hey man, you should, because he's into like marathons, like triathlons, Ironman. He goes, we're always looking for like a natural like energy pill. He's like, you should make some like coffee with like chocolate, like a little chocolate covered bean. I mean, which they have, but something for like athletes out there. But I'm like, dude, no, I'm not at that level yet. So what you would get is just like Hershey syrup, with some like chocolate, and I'd give it to you, and you'd be like, I'm not at that level yet. But that'd be a really cool thing to play with down the road. You know, make some snacks like that.
Be sweet. All right, man. Got something next on here on this program, okay? Dad jokes.
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes. It's a segment we cover in here. I've got a book. But before I jump into the book, I want to see if you have anything off the top of your head.
I don't have any dad jokes. Maybe I should start having dad jokes though. I don't have any dad jokes.
Rad Dad jokes. Rad Dad jokes.
Rad Dad jokes.
Rad Dad jokes. Rad Dad Coffee jokes.
I like it. Maybe I might have to do that.
All right, well.
You got some?
Fortunately, I have this. It's a book. It's Exceptionally Bad Dad Jokes, Volume 1.
Did you write that?
No, I did not.
I'm just joking, dude.
Come on. I'm not that clever, dude. So we're almost through this book. I'm going to probably order Volume 2 next week. I still don't remember who got me this book.
How many volumes of dad jokes are there?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let's look. What are we looking at here? What is the sustainability of my dad joke segment here with this book? Exceptionally Bad Dad Jokes volume or books. Here we go. Let's see. We got. It'd be cool if there's like a whole case of them, you know. Uh-oh. I see one.
You're gonna have to switch it up then, dude. Try another.
Well, you know, I tell everybody I'm so cheesy that I joined a dad joke group on Facebook.
Did you really?
I did, dude. Don't judge me, please. I did though.
You're like, hey,
I posted a dad joke.
I'm gonna be a
meme
father
last night.
now, so I probably should join.
Oh, there's
dad-
man, we're good. There's
dad joke group.
there's more books. I'm straight. Yeah, we're good. No, I posted one on Facebook last night because I'm so lame, dude. Let me show you it. It is a picture of a fork on a forklift.
A fork on a forklift?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a dad joke?
Well, it has like a picture of the dads. For whatever reason, I can't pull it up right now. You gotta love technology, you know what I mean? Like really, when you really need it in like a clutch, not there.
You know what's gonna happen now? I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna start like Googling dad jokes, and I'm gonna fall in the rabbit hole of just going down. Dude, I'm horrible at that.
Yeah, I strongly advise doing that.
You ever do that? Like get caught up like going down the rabbit hole, and before you like just
40 minutes goes by.
and then before you know it, you're like reading about like
Here it is,
I don't know, like Justin Bieber and his new shoes, and you're like, what the heck am I reading out? Like
Look
you
at
just go down that rabbit hole. This is so horrible, dude. It's a forklift, dude.
It's a fork on a forklift. It just shows Joe Rogan and some other people. What? Dads. All right, so I'm lame. All right, so I'm gonna let you go first then, because I don't have. That was my dad joke right there, just to show you. But
Do I get the book to read it though, or what?
get the book.
Okay.
So you can go in there, find something. Do your
All
thing.
right, I got to pick my own.
You get to pick your own, man. I mean, if there's some that are just so bad in there that you'll probably skip, and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna go to a different one. But there's some relating to coffee. We've had some on the show about coffee. If the sound engineer Nereda doesn't roll her eyes at the joke, then it wasn't good. But if she rolls her eyes, you know it's good.
You know, I'm gonna read this one, and it's just like it came up just because, my son brings it up all the time.
Let's hear
I
it.
don't even know if this is a joke. I think
Might
they're
not
just
be.
like statements or
Yeah,
something.
some of them are just statements. Yeah.
So it's Grandpa.
Okay.
Let's go. I have a dad bod. And the dad's.
Yeah.
To me, it's more like a father figure. That's so bad.
It was pretty bad, dude.
That's so bad.
All right, you
dude.
get another
I
one.
get another
You
one.
get another one.
You get,
It's more like a father figure.
okay, here we go. This one just came up.
All right.
What's the difference between coffee and your opinion?
What?
I asked for coffee,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I like that one.
Maybe I should start doing that like when I order coffee. When people start talking. No, that's just rude.
You ain't got any. You'll start
I
talking for
don't.
like an hour to somebody.
That's probably true.
Next thing you know, they're signing a.
The waiter's like, look, bro, I only got 30 minutes
They're
left on
signing
my
a
shift.
contract on a house, and you
I
didn't
got
even
30
need
minutes
to.
left on my shift. Can I just go home? Just order the food.
I went to get coffee, and I sold the house. I don't know what happened.
Oh, man.
Man. All right. This is why I found this one. All right, here we go. Whenever the cashier at the grocery store asks my dad if he would like the milk in a bag, he replies, "No, just leave it in the carton."
That's bad, dude. That's bad. Oh my gosh.
I don't get that one. There's one I'm reading. I'm like, that's not even a joke.
Read it. Just read it.
No.
I want to hear it.
Maybe I'm missing something here. Ready? I feel bad for the listeners on this one. I apologize. Why do you never see elephants hiding in trees?
Because they're, I don't know.
Because they're so good at it.
Hiding in trees.
See, am I missing something?
Oh.
Is it because they're good at not being in trees?
I think so. It's kind of
That
silly.
one's bad, right?
Yeah, that's bad.
That's real bad.
Dude, well, they had to come up with volume 1. Do you just imagine what volume 2 is, or just right? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to find one more. Here we go. Last one. Want to hear a joke about a piece of paper?
Mm-hmm.
Never mind, it's terrible.
Oh, terrible. I'm like,
rip it up.
oh my gosh.
All right. One more time. How do people connect with you, man?
All right, man. RadDadCoffee.com.
Okay.
Web page, social media. Yeah, it's all Rad Dad Coffee.
Right on. Go and follow. Try his coffee. I really suggest doing it. I am a subscriber of it. I get it every month. Wife loves it. She will go through crazy withdrawals when she doesn't have it. Like, she was pregnant. She's been pregnant, and she wasn't allowed to have coffee for a significant amount of time.
I was thinking about that.
And she's able to have a little bit now, and she takes advantage of. Rad Dad Coffee is her go-to on that.
That's awesome, dude. I
She's been
appreciate
drinking
it.
the Honduras. She's like, oh my gosh, it's so good. So make sure you get some of his coffee and check him out on social media. Also, if you want to be on the podcast, we are going to start booking for season 2. You can just reach out to us at ltdmedia.net or email us at contact@ltdmedia.net. Again, we appreciate you listening, and don't forget to subscribe. And also, there is a support button if you wish to donate. Donations go to getting certain guests who are out of state here or who have to travel. Thank you.